we have entered a new era of harsh geostrategic competition. The world's major economies are vying for access to raw materials, new technologies, and global trade routes. From AI to clean tech, from quantum to space, from the Arctic to the South China Sea, the race is on. As this competition intensifies, we will likely continue to see frequent use of economic tools, such as sanctions, export controls and tariffs, that are intended to safeguard economic and national security. But it is important that we balance the imperative to safeguard our security against our opportunity to innovate and enhance our prosperity. Russia making the G7, G8. Democracy was ascendant across the world. In this spirit, we will need to work together to avoid a global race to the bottom, because it is in no one's interest to break the bonds of the global economy. Rather, we need to modernize the rules to sustain our ability to produce mutual gain for our citizens. To sustain our growth in the next quarter of the century, Europe must shift gears. And this is why I asked Mario Draghi to deliver a report on European competitiveness. And on that basis, next week the European Commission is presenting our roadmap, the Competitiveness Compass, which will drive our work for the next 5 years. At the same time, Europe imports twice as many. It is time to pursue a more balanced relationship with China in a spirit of fairness and reciprocity. This new engagement with countries across the world is not only an economic necessity, but it's a message to the world. It is Europe's response to rising global competition. We want more cooperation with all who are open for it. You might recall that some even said it was the end of history. Our first priority will be to engage early, discuss common interests, and be ready to negotiate. We will be pragmatic, but we will always stand by our principles.
The consequence for Europe, and how do you see Europe's role in the ongoing war in Ukraine?
We have supported Ukraine by now by almost 130 billion euros, but we will continue to support Ukraine without any question. Whatever happens next, for us it's important that Ukraine stays an independent country and that it is Ukraine that decides on its own territory. And therefore, Klaus, the sentence is still valid. We stand by Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Madam President, I think you provided us with a clear